Open phone in this morning. Deidre's here to answer dilemmas. We go to Alice first of all. Alice, your son has, you have the illness, and your dilemma is how to get your son to come to terms with it. Here's Deidre.
Hi, so just tell me, what's happened so far?
Morning. I was diagnosed in September and still going through hospital treatment. And my son's gone from calm and lovely prior to this to very, very aggressive at school, and then isolates himself because he lives with his grandparents at the minute.
Because you're so weak with your illness,
Yeah.
which attacks the nervous, attacks your muscles, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I'm in a wheelchair at the moment.
Ah, yeah.
So he then, when he's home at his nan's, isolates himself.
I can hear you really upset. Because do I gather, I mean, are you worried you won't get better from this?
Yes.
And he must be, so he's picking up on all your fear. And how, do I gather the children at school are being pretty cruel as well?
They are, yeah. That's why he's getting aggressive at school, because they say, "Is your mum dead yet?"
Oh,
gosh, Alice,
I am so sorry about... You're obviously really struggling and you've got such a lot to cope with yourself. And obviously your son, he's terrified. I mean, underneath this aggressive act he's putting on, he's actually terrified he's going to lose you. His life has completely changed. He's living with his grandma. And you're now in a wheelchair and you're not absolutely sure you're going to get better. I think you really want to make it easy for him to share his fears with you. Don't expect him to be brave. Make sure your mum isn't expecting him to be brave. You know, sometimes people are sort of trying to jolly children along through this. And you can't, you know, at home it should be the time when they really have the space and the time to talk to you and just say to him, of course, you must feel very frightened. How are you feeling about this? So that he can let it all out to you, and then he'll feel better able to cope with the school. I think also either you or your mum, whichever is the most practical, should talk to the school and explain what's going on there, and saying, I mean, in the class, they should have a conversation about how scary it is to deal with something like that, and that it's absolutely dreadful, you know, for them. This is bullying. You know, we've been talking about bullying this week here. This is a form of very, very cruel bullying. But I also want you to talk, there's an organisation called Winston's Wish, which specially helps children whose parents, you know, if their parents are at risk of dying, of being, but they're becoming bereaved, or if they are indeed bereaved, and they can help you find the right words to talk to him. They can also help you do practical things, like if it does become clear that you may not be there, you know, when he's a lot older, you can do things like a memory box. You can help him create that so that he's got things, you can talk about things that he would actually want to have to remember you by.
It's very difficult, very difficult.
It is a very sad situation.
And you've already been dealing with this Be Kind campaign.
Exactly. So you could get the school, actually talk to your son's school about going on our website where they can download the Be Kind video. You go to the Be Kind page and then you click on the pledge button. You get the video, and that could be shown in a school assembly, for example. You could talk about it with your son to help him understand what's going on. And it just gives the strength then, and it will encourage the other children to be so much more understanding. Another place your son could find understanding is there's help for young carers, and he'd there find, you know, other young people whose parents aren't well, aren't able to look after them, and you realise he's not as alone as he thinks.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to talk to. Listen, I'm so sorry, Alice, we have to leave it there because we've got a lot of other people waiting
Thanks, Alice.
to talk.
I'll talk to you more off air.
Good luck with that.